So just saying hello and welcome you into this sacred space that we are co-creating together as we bring together our hearts with the intention of just bringing more focus and more awareness to our own ascension journey, to where we are at the moment with ourselves, how our body is doing, and also being here and open and ready to receive the messages and the various light codes and so forth that the beings of absolute light will want to bring through for us. I see Timo is on the call already. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome and lots of love to you, and also to anyone else joining. It's wonderful as always to connect with you in this place. And I thank you for the time and for choosing to spend your precious time here and to be in openness to the receiving of what it is that the beings of Absolute Light want to share with us today. And they have said that what they want to bring through today is largely Ascension codes to support us on our journey at this time and in integrating the very high frequency energy, which, as I'm sure your bodies have been experiencing, I know my body has been experiencing, has been really super high frequency, and they are saying it's going to increase in frequency too, and that's going to continue throughout the most of the rest of this year. So what they largely want to do today is bring forth various activations to support us in that, in aligning our bodies with that, helping us to attune to the energy more easily, to integrate the energy with more ease and more grace, and also giving us various ascension activations to lift us into a higher state of being and frequency at this time on our path. And also a few messages they say will be in there as we are receiving the activations. So I do invite you first to close your eyes, to bring your attention to the breath, and to feel this take you into that still, quiet place within. As we start to receive already the activations, the ascension activations they were speaking of, with an infusion of source light into our fields. And the dragons also bringing in the release, clearing activations. And they very much want to bring a focus today. They stay with the clearing activations to areas more to do with the world and the way the world functions, rather than in a personal way, but where we have had that kind of veiled vision where we haven't been able to see clearly, have been looking either through the veils of deception that are spun around a lot of what goes on in the public sphere, but many times they're saying it's actually like a very biased viewpoint that we ourselves hold as truth in such a way that even when that is coloring our perception, whether just slightly or in quite a distorted way, in fact, because it is putting such a filter on us, a bias. So there's all these various levels of distortion that come into our way of perceiving things, and they say from the very minute level up to any larger distortions that may be present, just working within the brain cells themselves. To create more alignment with ways of perceiving that are source aligned, and they are supporting this being done in such a way that we will be able to sense and perceive and feel that shift in perception, as it will probably come in suddenly. They're saying, like, as a, oh, all this time I've been thinking it's like this, and actually this is how it is. And it will be in a feeling self sense clear to us that this is either coming from our guides or our higher self, or a more source aligned perception. Like there will be something about the experiencing of it, or the thought itself that comes in, that will make it clear to us that this is what this is. And as that activation starts to pass through our physical vessel, next they are just taking us into a very deep and tangible oneness experience. And this is the energy that is really being seeded into the new earth version of Gaia, now they say. And the energy that we will need to examine, and it will require a great deal of diligence if we are to really do it justice, they say. Examine both within ourselves, within our relationships with others, with the world, with the animals of the world, and so forth. Where we are creating othering as such. Making someone not as valid as us, or not as valuable as us, even in very subtle and until now unseen by us and in very unconscious ways. By making them other than us. It's not just the sense of perceiving that someone is different from us in some way. Of course, they're saying that it's a fact that we are all different, both in our physical makeup and also in the things that we like and prefer, and the things that we choose to spend our time and energy on, and so forth. So it's more a sense that where we are allowing that perceived difference to, in its most simple form, stop us from truly honoring the other as a sacred spark of God in a human. And in that, honoring both their own sovereign power as an individual, whether they are yet a truly sovereign individual or not. We are living in the realm where free will is of the highest order, and so we do need to respect that people can make the decisions that they want to, choose the life path that they want to. And then if we are going to take it to the next level, they're saying truly without passing any judgment, as they're not seeing one as better or worse, as more desirable or less desirable, just because we think it's the path that they should be on, for example, perhaps. And there can be a very so subtle that it's can be difficult to notice, especially because it is so unconscious on our part. Like, we create a slight hierarchy where we are assume or think that people, and in general the people who are more like us, are in some way slightly superior to the people who we are othering and making as distant from us and slightly inferior to us in nuance, even if only in nuance. And they would ask us to become more and more conscious about they're saying it's not a case of if this exists within us, it is within all still. So where this exists within us, where we're not truly honoring and respecting and giving gratitude to others for being the expression of their unique spark of the divine. And as we truly start to do this, we will be greatly amplifying the energies of oneness, of unity, of love, and of the divine spark within that sees the divine spark within all others. In these realms, they say, and they do see this as a key transition in our way of being and interacting with the people, that other sentient beings, with Gaia. That is going to very clearly take us both as individuals, and then as this becomes more widespread as collective, into that new earth as truly lived and experienced. So if I can just summarize, it's very much this sense of I am in you and you are in me, and just honoring and recognizing that each is a sovereign spark of divine light incarnated at this time, while people may be on very different journeys, may have very different rates of the right speed for them for walking that journey and so forth, and finding the place within us that is in love and acceptance and true honoring of others in that process of them expressing as their soul asks them to express at this time. And this thing that is largely the voices of Yeshua, Krishna, Ganesha, the two Marys, a source, and Metatron and Melchizedek, just sharing that with us at this time. They would also like to bring some Lemurian energy frequencies and activations to support us in our ascension path in. Thank you. And they are placing each of us within an energetic structure of a pyramid that is just helping to align our energy in the highest potential way for us at this time. And the unicorns and the Pegasi, as well as whales and dolphins and mer people, bringing in infusions of very high frequency crystalline plasma light to support us at this time. So they do wish to remind us as they start to bring the transmissions to a close of having this greater awareness than we have had until this point. Of perception, of where we may be receiving a source or higher self or guided new perception to replace a a colored or a biased one that we have held, whether that is something that has been imposed on us or something that we have adhered to, like a strong belief or perception system that we have adhered to. And looking for being able to notice when they do drop in those new, more source-aligned perceptions that will be dropping in, specifically of things related to external events and factors and the external world, rather than our own inner work and process, they are saying. By external, it could mean on a world level, on a country level, or it could just mean the people that you are interacting with also. And then the other area that they wish us to bring more of are dedicated awareness to is, are we othering in this situation? As we either look at this group of people or interact with them, are we creating both a distance, but not just a distance, like a slight hierarchy which sees us as, very plainly put, they're saying like more conscious, more evolved, which then prevents us from truly respecting the other's soul's journey, the journey that they are on, and also their sovereign right as a soul incarnated on earth to choose in alignment with their free will. They do add to this that many more people's souls are now encouraging them in the direction of opening into a more expanded awareness of what is going on the earth, as well as what it means to be human, as well as the whole multi-dimensional nature that we are. So there are more and more souls being drawn in this direction. And that is going to create various different stages of the journey that different souls are on. They want us to remember that we are on the one journey. We are the journey, and that we includes all, including those at very different stages of the journey to us. And to honor each where they are. And that this is a critical first step into embodying more oneness consciousness, unity consciousness. I know they don't usually repeat or kind of rephrase messages. They say that the reason they are doing this is they do see this as really important and critical for us at this time. And that is, they say, it makes them complete with what they want to share with us today. So thanking all the beings who have come through today for the beautiful activations and messages and energetic frequencies that they have shared with us today. And also thanking you, beautiful souls and Lightworker community, for being here with us. I know from personal experience that it can be very hard to see where our own perception is skewed. It might be easier to see it in another. So I just thought of this. It sounds like a wonderful idea. You know, maybe you have a Lightworker friend or a Wayshower friend you really trust, a member of this large global community of light that we are one smaller part of, that you can ask to, you know, reflect that back to you if they sense that or notice that in you at all, and you can do the same for them. I think it would require a deep level of trust, but it would perhaps allow you to access that in a quicker fashion than you may be able to do by just observing yourself. That depends on individuals, I think, and how good you are at really observing yourself. I know I'm not so good at the moment. In the moment, I'm much better in retrospective reflection. So I'm sure that's also the case for some others. And if you do have any insights related to any of this and you would like to share them, either in the comments or if they're personal, feel free to send me an email. I always love to hear how things transform and shift as a result of what is shared. So thank you in advance for any of you who do share in that way too. And then I am going to bring this transmission to a close. Before I do so, I would just like to remind people of the trauma release session coming up at the end of this month. If you haven't registered yet and you would like to do so, there's still about a week and a half, 2 weeks, I think, to do so. The session is scheduled for March 24th. And we will be releasing trauma in a generalized fashion, but they say it's going to work on a very deep penetrative level and release trauma from the cells. I know I have shared a little about it before, and that there are various beings coming in to work with us, including, actually, I'm going to have to bring up the webpage because I totally forgot that I would be sharing about this till they just reminded me. So I didn't bring it up in advance, sorry, but it's here. Yes, so we have Divine Mother, Father God, Divine Source, and Krishna and Ganesha leading the healing, the energetic activations that we are going to receive to support with just releasing that trauma. And then also with extra support from the angelic realms, from the galactics, from the crystals, from Merlin, and so forth. And the first part of the session is going to be very similar to the kind of energy work that we received today, with the intention of releasing what is still there, stored within our physical vessels, particularly, but also the energetic fields of trauma that we have experienced in our lifetime, to really start to clear and release that on a much deeper level. And then the second half of the session will be an EFT tapping process to further that work. They have asked that I make the replay available for longer than usual, just to give people a chance to really work with this on a very deep level if they want to. I know with the last session we did which was related to release around self-worth. There was a request that the replay was made available for longer than the 1 month that was initially the time frame for that. So that will be available for longer than the 1 month period. And this time we decided to just extend this one right from the bat to 3 months, so that people can really work with this on a deep level. And the beings of absolute light do see this as important at the minute. It's like an emotional, particularly emotional, but also the way that the experiences we have had have created the person we are, and particular thoughts that we hold, sometimes which have elements of false thinking within them, or the belief systems that we hold, again with elements of false belief systems in there. And so it is like a detox of all of that on our behalf, they say, as well as of the cellular structure of the body, helping to release that which has been stored there after traumatic experiences, to really support us in integrating more of the incoming galactic light at this time. And it is important for all of us to go through that kind of very deep level of detox at this time, they say. I know there are various ways of doing that. Lots of you, I'm sure, have processes and so forth that you already work with. And if that is working for you, of course, that's fantastic. But if you would like to enter this session with the beings of absolute light and take that work on a deeper level with them, then I do invite you to register. It's $88 for the session, and I will put the link as at the bottom in the description box under this video, as well as the date for the upcoming Facebook Live, which I can't quite remember off the top of my head at this moment. So I will put that in the comments there as well, for those of you who would like to join us on that. And if not, I will share the replay on YouTube afterwards if you're not on Facebook. So with much gratitude from my heart to yours, thank you for being here, and for really just being so willing to be with this process. It is taking us into new dimensions of our own being, both as an individual and as a collective. And I think we're just all really amazing, brave and courageous souls for choosing to be here at this time. So thank you for being one of those, and for sharing your love and light with me, and allowing me to share my love and light with yours. With much love from my heart to yours. Thank you, Julia.